How much longer can we keep paying these gas prices? Have we not observed that traffic gets worse and worse year after year? When you look at places like Germany, their public transport costs a fraction of what it does here, and it's far cleaner, far more efficient, and the trains and other forms of public transportation are steadily being upgraded across Europe, while in the U.S., cars stay king. Poorly funded, outdated public transportation systems have turned a reliable, cost-efficient travel option into the last resort for many Americans. It is time for our government to start prioritizing the expansion and upgrade of public transportation, not only because it can help the economy, but also because it can help people's wallets and, more importantly, the environment. Having thoroughly researched this subject for several days, I have come to terms with why public transportation is so poor in America today. And I've looked into other nations. I've looked into other nations and have found how their efficient methods for improving theirs. Today, I will take an in-depth dive of the recurring problems associated with American public transportation and the underlying factors driving these issues, and the potential solutions that can be implemented to benefit the commuting experience for citizens across the nation. Many bus and train stations are poorly funded and run down in America. They are often delayed or packed in with too many people. More often than not, there's little public transportation in cities and towns that people feel safe on. Most Americans are not able to rely on anything but their car. This results in traffic, more expensive gas, car repairs, and generally higher family costs. In general, a typical family of four spends upwards of $5,000 on their car alone every year. Cars are a huge source of CO2 emissions. Traffic is a huge cause of air pollution and climate change. The U.S. produces more transportational emissions than wealthy countries because America drives cars much more than people in any other developed country. Now that we have seen how bad the situation is, what should we do about it? The government has funded interstate and suburb growth since the 1950s. Instead of public transportation being prioritized. Cities were built to accommodate cars. In time, public transportation programs received far less funding than the highway program. Unfortunately, cities can barely scrape together enough money needed just to keep current bus routes running. And new initiatives that promise improvements, they just get caught up in political squabbles about funding. America invests way less in upgrading public transportation compared to countries such as Germany or Japan, both of which are have extremely modern train networks. Even if improvements were proposed, many would scoff in the U.S. Transit buses and trains carry a bad stigma. To most Americans, it's inconvenient or just a mode of transportation for people who can't afford cars. As ridership dwindles further due to poor quality service, it lessens government motivation to improve the infrastructure. Nonetheless, the preceding issues are more severe and have led to millions of Americans using public transportation every day. Fortunately, there are several viable and possible solutions to improve transit throughout our country. Upgrading buses, rails, subway systems in cities, expanding service routes will serve more areas, making public transit more available, building more high-speed railways that will link cities quickly and smoothly. Offering cheaper tickets would likely improve ridership, cleaner stations, better schedules, and safety at all times can improve the image of the public transit system. Relying less on cars would ease the strain of millions of commuters. It would save time, and money by creating less traffic. Less traffic would improve air quality. It would save us time. It would save us time and save cash. And don't forget about the increased construction, design, engineering, and manufacturing jobs. They have excellent transportation in Japan and Germany, which many Japanese and German commuters use daily. In many cities of the two countries, rail systems are fast, punctual, and environmentally beneficial, thus allowing urban sprawl to happen at a slower rate. And so, that is public transportation. In the US, an issue that could gain more traction in people's thoughts, not the general public, but more influential leaders in the United States. Today, I covered a couple of the issues with the transportation system in the USA, the causes for the decay over the time, and some of the solutions we can use to turn the U.S. transit system around. The United States must put the public transportation back on the front page of national issues, because strengthening transportation systems will promote a stronger national economy, cut carbon emissions in major U.S. cities, improve lives of millions of Americans. The country is building its future based solely around congestion, costly rising gas prices, and crowded interstates. Investing in a public transportation network is not about spending money on bus routes or rail cars. It's about spending money on less polluting, more inexpensive, and connected future for many American citizens to come.